Hi, my name's John Miller and I'll be taking this course on the pruning and training of ornamental and fruiting flowering plants. Now, what we'll be doing in this course, we'll be looking initially at why and when we prune, then we'll look at how and where we prune and what sort of equipment you need to use. After that, we'll be looking at a range of fruiting and flowering plants, how we prune, train and care for them to get the maximum result. We first of all should just define the word pruning. Pruning is the removal of unwanted growth. Training is training a plant to grow up a certain structure or grow in a certain way to again optimize flowering and fruiting or growth. And obviously care is very important. We need to know how to look after our plants, what gives the optimum growth. And with that, I should mention that it's very important that you find the ideal growing conditions for your plant, but also right plant, right place. So no use in planting a large tree right up against your house. It's just going to create problems further down the track. So right plant, right place should be your first port of call. Ideal growing conditions, and then understanding their growth, and then from there getting the ideal pruning methods to match that. So first of all, let's just look at why we prune. There are four main reasons. The first one is we do want to encourage flowering and fruiting if that's what we're growing the plants for. The second reason is to remove the 3 Ds, that's dead, diseased and damaged growth. So dead growth, simply enough we don't want it, and if you want to check on your plant if a growth is dead or alive, you can just scratch the bark, and if it's green it's alive, if it's brown it's dead. You can remove it if it's dead. If it's diseased, same thing, remove it back to healthy growth to encourage that. And lastly, damaged, whether that might be through insects, might be through the machinery, might be through the wind or frost, remove that growth back to healthy growth as well. The other reason is to encourage the more light or better access, or to reduce the height of a tree or shrub that might be blocking light. Improve access, say if you've got mowers around the base of trees, you may need to remove the lower branches. And the last reason is to control growth, and that's principally to do with hedges, and we'll have a lecture on controlling hedges or growing hedges. When we control growth, there's another form called topiary, which is quite a specialised form of controlling growth, and that is where you may use something like a box hedge and you train it into shapes of animals and that sort of thing. So those are the four main reasons why we prune: to encourage fruiting and flowering, to remove the 3 Ds, to improve lighter access or growth, and also to control growth. Now, the next thing we want to think about is, when do we prune? For flowering and fruiting plants, the best reason obviously is, or the best time I should say, is after flowering or after fruiting. That makes logical sense. We don't want to be removing flower buds just prior to them blossoming. The next important timing is some plants such as kiwi fruit, grapes, silver birch, maples. If you prune them too close to spring and very late winter, their sap can bleed quite profusely. It won't kill them, but it may well weaken them somewhat. So better to prune in the middle of winter if you have to, or autumn, but not just before spring when the sap rises. The other important time not to prune is with stone fruit. Don't prune them in the middle of winter or during the winter, because they're more prone to fungal diseases. So prune them during the autumn period. Now, just in terms of pruning, we're next going to look at where we're going to prune and how we're going to prune. So as always, it's important to know your limits, and also just consider always why we're doing it, when we're doing it, where we're doing it, and how we're doing it. So that's what we'll be looking at in the next lecture. Okay.